The air was cool and fragrant as the disciples gathered beneath the shade of towering bamboo trees. A gentle wind carried whispers through the grove, and the soft hum of the forest enveloped them. Among the disciples sat Ananda, his eyes clouded by uncertainty and his mind weighed down by countless questions. He finally spoke, his voice trembling as he asked the Buddha for guidance. "Blessed One," Ananda began, "my heart feels lost and my mind heavy with confusion. I am disconnected from my true self." His words hung in the air, and the other disciples shifted in quiet contemplation. The Buddha turned his serene gaze toward Ananda, his eyes reflecting infinite compassion. His voice was steady and soft, yet filled with profound strength. "Ananda," the Buddha replied, "there was once a man who lived solely for the approval of others. He measured his worth by their praise." His words caught Ananda's attention, and the forest seemed to still in anticipation of the teaching to come. The Buddha continued, "The man wore different masks each day, shaped by the desires of those around him. One day," the Buddha said, he stood before a stream and caught his reflection in the water. It was blurred and distorted. Ananda furrowed his brow, intrigued but unsettled by the parable. In his confusion, he asked himself, "Which mask do they see? Which mask hides me the most?" The Buddha paused briefly, allowing his words to settle among the disciples. The man polished a mirror relentlessly, hoping to see his true self reflected there. Yet, he found only illusions. The disciples listened intently, their hearts attuned to the wisdom in every word. Ananda nodded slowly, his gaze fixed on the ground. "You see, Ananda," the Buddha said, "our minds are like that mirror. We spend our lives polishing it, seeking clarity." His voice carried a calm certainty, drawing all who listened closer to understanding. But clarity does not come from the reflection. It comes when we set down the mirror and turn inward. Ananda looked up at the Buddha, his expression earnest yet tinged with doubt. "Blessed One," he asked, "how can I turn inward when my thoughts are so scattered and my heart so restless?" The Buddha smiled gently, his presence radiating tranquility. "The restlessness you feel is the mask struggling to stay in place," he replied. "The mask demands energy and attention to maintain," the Buddha continued. "But authenticity requires only acceptance." His words seemed to echo through the grove, resonating deeply within Ananda and the other disciples. To find your true self, you must let go of the need to be seen as anything other than who you are. Ananda closed his eyes, allowing the Buddha's words to sink into his heart. The rustling leaves created a soothing backdrop to the moment of reflection. The Buddha then gestured to the forest around them. "Look at these trees, Ananda. Simply observe without attachment." The disciples leaned in, their expressions intent, absorbing every word with the hope of easing their inner struggles. "These trees do not compete to stand tallest," the Buddha said. "Nor do they question their place in the grove." His tone was warm and steady, carrying a wisdom born of boundless understanding. "They simply grow, and in their growth, they fulfill their purpose." Ananda nodded slowly, a faint light of understanding beginning to spark within him. The Buddha continued, "You too have a purpose, Ananda, one that is not found in the reflections of a polished mirror." His words enveloped Ananda in a sense of profound calm. "Your purpose is found in living authentically, free from masks and illusions." The disciples murmured quietly among themselves, their discussions reflecting the deep impact of the Buddha's teachings. The Buddha turned his gaze back to Ananda and said, "The path to authenticity is not one of striving but of surrender." His voice carried the gentle authority of one who had walked the path himself. To surrender, the Buddha explained, is to release attachment to how you are perceived, whether by others or even by yourself. The disciples listened with unwavering attention, their hearts stirred by the truth in the Buddha's words. When you let go of these attachments, You discover a freedom unlike any other. Ananda opened his eyes, his expression one of quiet determination and newfound clarity. The Buddha then gestured toward the flowing stream nearby. Water, too, carries a lesson, he said. It moves effortlessly, shaping itself to its surroundings without losing its essence. Ananda watched the stream as its waters danced and shimmered in the dappled sunlight. Be like water, Ananda, the Buddha said. Flow with life's currents while remaining true to your essence. His words seemed to carry the very rhythm of the stream, blending seamlessly with the natural harmony of the grove. You will face challenges, the Buddha continued, but remember, even turbulent waters find their calm. His voice was steady, offering solace to those who might struggle on the path to authenticity. Your true self is like the source of the stream, pure, unchanging, and infinite. The disciples sat in reflective silence, the teachings settling deeply within their hearts. Ananda turned to the Buddha and said, "Blessed One, I feel lighter now, as though the mask has begun to slip away." The Buddha smiled, his serene presence as radiant as the sunlight filtering through the trees. You have taken the first step, Ananda, the Buddha said. The journey to authenticity begins with awareness and continues with acceptance. His tone carried both encouragement and wisdom, guiding Ananda gently yet firmly toward deeper understanding. Be patient with yourself, for the path unfolds in its own time. The grove seemed to come alive, the rustling leaves and murmuring stream creating a symphony that echoed the Buddha's words. Authenticity is not something you find, Ananda, the Buddha said. It is something you uncover, for it is already within you. The disciples felt a deep sense of peace as they absorbed the essence of the teaching. Ananda bowed deeply to the Buddha, his heart swelling with gratitude and resolve. The Buddha's gaze remained steady, a beacon of infinite compassion and wisdom. Remember, Ananda, the Buddha concluded, your true self is like the sky above, vast, boundless, and unchanging. The masks are but passing clouds. The disciples rose and followed the Buddha as he continued his journey through the grove. Ananda walked with a lighter step, his heart buoyed by the profound truths he had received. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the grove was bathed in a gentle twilight, and the teachings of the Buddha remained etched in the hearts of all who had gathered. Another day, the disciples walked along a winding path in the forest, their robes brushing against the dewy grass. The sunlight filtered through the dense canopy above, casting dappled patterns on the ground. Ananda followed closely behind the Buddha, his mind still reflecting on the teachings of the previous day. His heart wrestled with an inner struggle, a knot of emotions he could not untangle. As they walked, they came upon a bramble bush, its thorns intertwining like a complex and stubborn knot. The Buddha stopped and gazed at the bush, his eyes calm and thoughtful. The disciples paused as well, their curiosity piqued by the Buddha's silent contemplation. Ananda stepped forward, sensing there was a lesson to be learned. Blessed One, Ananda said hesitantly, this knot of thorns reminds me of the confusion within my own heart and mind. His words hung in the air as the other disciples nodded in quiet agreement. The Buddha turned to Ananda, his expression serene and filled with understanding. Indeed, Ananda, he said, this knot of thorns is a reflection of the mind burdened by false beliefs and desires. The disciples gathered closer, their attention focused entirely on the Buddha's words. Each thorn in this knot, the Buddha continued, represents an attachment, a craving, or a fear that binds the mind. His voice was steady and clear, carrying the wisdom of countless lifetimes. When we act impulsively, trying to pull the knot apart, we only tighten it further. Ananda furrowed his brow, feeling the weight of the Buddha's words. Blessed One, he asked, how can we untangle such a knot when it seems so complex and impenetrable? The Buddha's gaze softened, and he reached out to gently touch the bramble bush. Patience, Ananda, he replied. The key to entangling the knot lies in understanding its origins. The disciples listened intently as the Buddha continued. Begin by observing the knot without judgment or frustration, he said. See how each thorn interlocks with the others, creating the illusion of an insurmountable problem. His words seemed to resonate with the quiet rhythm of the forest, blending seamlessly with the whispers of the wind. Ananda, the Buddha said, consider the path that led to this knot. What thoughts, actions, and desires brought it into being? His voice carried a gentle authority, urging self-reflection without fear or guilt. When you understand the origins of each attachment, you gain the insight needed to loosen its grip. Ananda nodded slowly, his mind beginning to unravel the layers of his own confusion. The Buddha continued, the act of observation itself is the first step toward liberation, for it separates you from the illusion of the knot. His words were like a balm to the hearts of the disciples, offering hope and clarity. The mind, Ananda, the Buddha said, is often drawn to complexity, seeking solutions that only add more layers to the knot. His gaze rested on the bramble bush, its thorns glistening in the morning light. But the truth is simple: to untangle the knot, you must start with a single thread. Ananda looked at the bush, his eyes tracing the intricate weave of the thorns. Blessed One, he said, how do we choose which thread to begin with when the knot appears so overwhelming? The Buddha smiled gently, his presence radiating infinite patience and compassion. Begin with the thread that causes you the most suffering, he replied. The disciples exchanged glances, each reflecting on the threads of suffering in their own lives. The Buddha continued, by addressing the source of your greatest pain, you create a ripple effect that loosens the entire knot. His words carried the weight of profound truth, offering a path forward through even the most tangled of struggles. Ananda's heart felt lighter as he considered the Buddha's guidance. The forest around them seemed to come alive, the rustling leaves and singing birds creating a symphony of harmony. The Buddha gestured toward the bramble bush once more. Ananda, he said, do not fear the thorns, for they are but temporary obstacles on the path to freedom. The disciples listened in silence, their hearts absorbing the wisdom of the teaching. The Buddha turned to the group and said, remember, my friends, that the knot of thorns is not your true nature. His voice carried a gentle reassurance, dispelling the shadows of doubt that lingered in their minds. Your true nature is like the open sky, vast, boundless, and free. Ananda felt a sense of calm wash over him, his inner turmoil beginning to settle. The Buddha's gaze remained steady as he said, do not rush the process, for haste only leads to frustration and further entanglement. His words echoed through the grove, a reminder to approach the journey with patience and grace. The disciples bowed deeply to the Buddha, their hearts filled with gratitude for the profound teaching. As they continued their journey, the bramble bush faded into the distance, but its lesson remained etched in their minds. Ananda walked with a newfound sense of purpose, his steps guided by the wisdom of the Buddha. The path ahead stretched on, winding through the forest and beyond. Yet, within the hearts of the disciples, the journey to untangle the knots of the mind had already begun. Another day, the disciples followed the Buddha into a vast open field bathed in the soft glow of the morning sun. The grass sparkled with dew, and the horizon stretched endlessly, unbroken and serene. Ananda walked beside the Buddha, his heart lighter but still seeking deeper clarity and peace. The disciples gathered around him, their robes rustling softly in the gentle breeze. The Buddha seated himself on the cool earth, gesturing for the disciples to do the same. His gaze swept across the open field, filled with the beauty of simplicity and vastness. Ananda, the Buddha began, his voice calm and resonant. Look at the sky above. Tell me what you see. Ananda tilted his head, observing the boundless expanse of blue that stretched endlessly above them. I see openness. Blessed One, Ananda replied, his voice soft with awe. I see a vast, endless sky that holds everything yet clings to nothing. The Buddha smiled, his expression serene and knowing. Indeed, Ananda, he said, the sky is a reflection of your true self, boundless, eternal, and untouched by the passing clouds. The disciples listened in silence, their hearts attuned to the profound wisdom in every word. The clouds, the Buddha continued, represent your thoughts, emotions, and experiences. They come and go, sometimes dark and heavy, sometimes light and fleeting. His voice carried the weight of infinite understanding, touching the hearts of all who heard him. But the sky remains, unaffected by the clouds, just as your true self remains untouched by the transient. Ananda's eyes filled with wonder as he absorbed the truth of the Buddha's words. Blessed One, he asked, how can we remember the sky when the clouds seem so overwhelming and all-consuming? The Buddha's gaze rested on Ananda, filled with compassion and gentle strength. The key, Ananda, he said, is to shift your focus from the clouds to the space that holds them. The disciples exchanged glances, their minds opening to the profound simplicity of the teaching. The Buddha continued, do not cling to the clouds, whether they bring joy or sorrow, for clinging binds you to the transient. His words were like a soothing balm, offering freedom from the struggles that clouded their hearts. Instead, rest in the awareness of the sky, the unchanging essence of who you are. Ananda nodded slowly, his heart beginning to grasp the depth of the teaching. The Buddha gestured toward the open field around them. This field, too, holds a lesson, he said. It accepts everything, the rain, the sun, the wind, without resistance. His voice carried the gentle authority of one who had walked the path to liberation. In the same way, accept the experiences of life without clinging or aversion, for they are but passing phenomena. The disciples sat in quiet reflection, the simplicity and depth of the Buddha's words resonating deeply within them. The Buddha then reached down and plucked a single blade of grass, holding it between his fingers. Consider this blade of grass. Ananda, he said, though it is small and humble, it is part of the vast field. Ananda looked at the blade of grass, his eyes filled with curiosity and reverence. Just as this grass belongs to the field, the Buddha continued, you belong to the infinite and boundless truth. His tone was gentle yet firm, guiding Ananda and the disciples toward a deeper understanding of their true nature. When you realize this, you see that you are never separate, never disconnected from the whole. Ananda's heart swelled with gratitude, his sense of isolation melting away like mist in the morning sun. The Buddha then said, to remember the sky is to remember your essence, your unchanging self that is always free. His words carried the timeless wisdom that had guided countless souls toward liberation. The disciples bowed deeply to the Buddha, their hearts filled with reverence and gratitude for the profound teaching. The Buddha's gaze swept across the open field once more, his eyes reflecting the infinite and eternal. Walk through life as you walk through this field, he said. Open, accepting, and grounded in the truth of who you are. The disciples rose and followed the Buddha as he continued his journey, the vast field stretching endlessly before them. Ananda walked with a lightness in his step, his heart aligned with the infinite sky within. As the morning sun climbed higher, the teachings of the Buddha illuminated the path ahead, guiding all who follow toward the eternal truth. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.